Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Josh.
And Kristen.
Today's video is just about whether or not all things are caused good or bad by God, or things happen for a reason, or do they not, or is it just things just happen, and kind of what do we think?
Yeah.
I guess we're kind of looking up scripture on this topic because it came up, and I've just came up with Romans 8:28 that says all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to God's purpose. But that doesn't specifically say that everything happens for a reason, just verbatim. And then the one you had, the Ecclesiastes one.
Yes. So what I wanted to reference was Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. And it goes on to say a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to tear down, and a time to build up. And this goes on for the next probably 5-6 verses. Yeah. My question is, if there is a time for everything, that because God has already set out what he wants to happen, for lack of better words. So would you say that is also, would you say that's also, what am I trying to say? Is that the same as saying everything happens for a reason?
I guess it kind of is in a way. It's saying that there's a time for everything. So if you just think about literally that, there is a time for everything. Whatever that is. And I guess it just came up because we were talking about natural disasters, whether or not is God responsible for that? But also we live in a world where the enemy is also at play too. So does God just allow, just like with Job, how God allowed the enemy to, you know, have everything taken away from Job and just test him to see how if he would still stay faithful to God? Is that kind of the same thing that's happening with natural disasters? Is this something the enemy does and God's allowing it, or is this?
I'm going to answer your first question. Does God allow these things to happen? And just based on what I've read through the Bible, I would say yes. Because God does control. He has control over everything. There's nothing that happens without him knowing. He could say to the wind, stop. Just like with, like in the Bible, the story when the disciples were on the boat. And he was sleeping because he doesn't need to worry about what's happening around him. He has control over it, so he doesn't. That's not something that
I'm worried about. Yeah.
So just bringing that story and your question back. Yes, in short, yes, he does have control over everything, and he does allow certain things to happen. But that doesn't mean those things don't happen because of something we have done, or maybe he has a better plan at the end. Circumstances, we all go through different circumstances, and we all have different outcomes for different circumstances. And those circumstances, like everything we do, has a result, or there's something that we either learn from it or we don't in some cases, and not until a future date. And that could be the same for natural disasters or seasons of grief. So yeah, I can only say yes. Yeah. That's what I feel in my heart. Like, yes, everything happens for a reason, and we don't always know what that reason is.
And yeah, I think it is clear that Scripture does prove that everything does happen for a reason. And yeah, we just don't know why. We can question. I think it's fair to question it.
For sure.
But yeah, we don't truly know why things happen. I was going to say even until after sometimes, sometimes like after things happen, you go, oh, okay, you know what, like this wouldn't have happened if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
If God didn't, maybe not God caused it, but if God didn't allow this to happen in my life, I wouldn't be here where I am today. And then but then sometimes it's like when really tragic things happen, it's like, was that God or was that just my own free will? And then God used it to turn things around.
I think
But everything was all planned out.
Yeah, but what's great about what you said is regardless of whether it's something happens based on what we did or didn't do, or what God did do or didn't do, God is still in it, regardless, either way. Whichever path we take, God is still in it. He still holds tomorrow. He still has control over our futures. So I feel like there's no bad outcome as long as you put God in your situations and put him at the forefront of your decision making.
So yeah, to summarize, it's definitely God. There is a time. God's confirmed that there is a time for everything, and yeah, kind of like what we've already said, everything's been planned out, and so there's a reason. There's a reason for everything. Whether it's like something random or something maybe more serious or more intense, whatever. There's a reason behind it, or there's some kind of explanation. Whether it's God's intervention, or it's maybe something the enemy is trying to attack us with. But everything gets worked out for God's good in the end, and God always gets the glory. So,
I'll just end with this verse. It's also from Ecclesiastes chapter 3. So verse 4 says, I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it and nothing taken away from it. God does it so that people will fear him. So, just something to take away as you go into your week.
Yeah.
And if you have a different opinion or a different view or something to add on, feel free to leave it in the comments and we'll be sure to read it.
Don't forget to
like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.